For most people, filing a tax return in Germany is just paperwork. You sit down one weekend, open Elster, upload a few documents, and click submit. And then you hope for the best. But most people don't realize that the average tax refund in Germany is over 1,000 euros. And when people lose money on their tax return, it's usually not because of an unfair system. It's because they made avoidable mistakes. So today, I want to walk you through the most expensive tax mistakes in Germany and how to stop donating to the German tax office. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Ahsan. I'm a researcher, and on this channel, I share how to build wealth in Germany in a practical and sustainable way. And taxes are part of that because keeping money is just as important as earning it. So most people treat their tax return just like a template. They copy last year's file, update their salary, maybe adjust commuting days, and that's it. That does sound efficient, but it can cost you hundreds of euros. You think nothing changed, but something did change. Maybe you worked more from home, you changed health insurance, you had higher commuting costs, you sent more money to your parents back home. So if you don't actively review each section, you default to old numbers, but the tax law is not that static. German tax law changes almost every year, shifting allowances, adjusting thresholds, and introducing new rules. That's why each year deserves a fresh look. Now, most people I coach often say, as long as I get my money back, I'm happy with my tax return. And that might seem reasonable, but it's not that simple. When your Steuerbescheid arrives, it may not match what you submitted. Sometimes deductions are reduced, sometimes the tax office rejects the claims, and sometimes simple mistakes do happen. And when you have just 1 month to file an objection, after that it becomes final. So I've seen cases where 300 to 400 euros were left unclaimed simply because the tax assessment wasn't checked carefully. For my own tax assessment, the tax office did not accept one of my claims and asked for additional documents to assess that claim. If I had simply ignored this, then my tax refund would have been much lower. Obviously, the German tax law does not make this simple. They usually explain changes on the last page of the notice, but most people don't read them. They see the refund number and they stop there. That's why it's important to read the document completely and see what they have accepted and what they have not. So getting the tax assessment is one thing. Many of you make one of the stupidest mistakes you can make with your taxes in Germany. My colleague deducts that every year, or my neighbor's tax office accepts it. I'm sure you've heard this too. The problem is that the German tax law is case specific. What works for a freelancer doesn't automatically apply for an employee. What works for someone with children doesn't apply to someone without. And what many people don't realize is that tax advice in Germany is regulated. Not everyone is legally allowed to give you personal advice. So while friends mean well, their situation may not reflect yours. And when something goes wrong, they won't be responsible. You will. And don't get me started with shady tax advisors. One of the most shady things I see on Facebook is people sharing an email address. This belongs to supposedly a tax consultant who is cheap and helps you file your tax declaration in Germany. Hundreds of people use their services. I have no issues if a tax consultant's email is shared. But the problem is that this is just an email. You do not know if the person is actually registered in Germany or in fact is a tax consultant. I know this because I have gotten many complaints. People ask me to help them file their claim against an incorrect assessment. They file with the help of such services. But when it comes to supporting the customer, unlicensed professionals cannot help properly, especially when it comes to filing a tax declaration after the deadline for self-submission has passed. Because only registered tax consultants can help you with the special extended deadline. Please hit the like button if you're getting value from this video, hit the hype button if you see it, and consider subscribing. Now obviously I understand that the German tax forms are complex, mainly because of their structure. That's why people seek external help. In the tax forms, things are grouped in a certain way, just like everything else in Germany. Some things make sense, but many things are weirdly placed. So if you enter a number in the wrong section, it doesn't automatically move. It may simply be ignored. That's why instead of sitting in front of a chaotic stack of papers, try dividing your documents into simple categories: income, work-related expenses, insurance, household costs, money sent to family abroad, and a general category. You don't need to master the entire tax system. You just need a clear structure within your own situation. It doesn't matter if you file your taxes on your own or with the help of a professional. The clearer the information, the better it is for your tax refund. Because even small adjustments matter. Sometimes people slightly increase commuting days or round up expenses or assume no one will notice. German tax processing is highly standardized. If someone statistically stands out, it can trigger further checks. And even if it doesn't, the bigger issue here is the long-term consistency. If you file clean, accurate returns year after year, your file stays simple. If irregularities appear, your file becomes interesting, and interesting files get attention. The smartest strategy is simple. Claim everything you're legally entitled to. Nothing more, nothing less. But sometimes you ignore important things like household-related services. This is one of the biggest missed opportunities, especially for tenants. As many renters assume, tax benefits only apply if you personally hire a cleaner or gardener. But if you receive a Nebenkostenabrechnung, you likely already paid for janitor services, stairs cleaning, garden maintenance, elevator servicing, snow removal, among many other things. But here's the important part. The German government refunds 20% of certain labor costs related to household services, and that can add up. But only if you actively extract those numbers from your annual statement and enter them correctly. Most people don't do that. They glance at the document, check the total, and simply move on. And that's where money gets lost. You can also download my free ebook to help you get started here. Another thing people forget is the special expenses. Most people focus on work or study related expenses, but Sonderausgaben are often underestimated. These include health insurance contributions, pension contributions, church tax, donations, childcare, alimony, and many other things. Some of these are automatically transmitted to the tax office, but not all of them. And even transmitted data should be verified. A small monthly donation of 50 euros becomes 600 euros per year. Over several years, that adds up. These aren't dramatic amounts individually, but taxes are often won or lost in small details. And don't get me started with extraordinary burdens. Now, extraordinary burdens include costs that arise due to special life events like high medical bills, dental treatments, glasses, funeral costs, fertility treatments, and most importantly, sending money back home to parents and family members, which I'll explain in a bit. But one thing you need to consider here is that there's a reasonable burden threshold. Only costs exceeding that threshold reduce your tax. Many people assume they won't exceed it and therefore they don't enter anything. But you don't know unless you calculate it. And sometimes one larger expense pushes you beyond the threshold. So let the system calculate. Don't pre-reject yourself. Because since 2017, you don't have to automatically submit receipts with your tax return. This can create a misunderstanding. You don't have to submit receipts when you file your tax refund, but you definitely need to keep them. If your expenses are unusually high or if you claim something for the first time, the tax office can request proof. If you can't provide it, the deductions disappear. A simple system that you can try is to scan everything and store it digitally. You can organize by category, and you don't need a shoebox full of paper anymore. But you do need documentation. For example, when you send money back home to your parents and family members, you can create an Excel file of the money you send them. But you will need transaction details, so it's better to send the payment, take a screenshot of the transaction, and save it in your tax management system for the next year. Obviously, Germany is not that simple, and sending money back home to your parents is quite a complex topic. You need to fill out a special form in advance to have that expense considered. Why not? I have a detail on that topic here. And at the end of the day, the most expensive mistake is not filing at all. In this video, I share the German tax guide and how to get the most money back from the government.